in a 4v3.
Everfrog Esports trying to find what angle they can, trying to find somebody out of position.
We're gonna go through on this. Oh, what a wall. We're gonna take flag. See why it's gonna go in.
It's going to be a really, really interesting one.
Oh my god. All of this competition could be so damn close, so I cannot wait for us to finally decide who's going to be the champion. We are expecting some chaos, some great moments.
A beast mode has killed 3. Only gonna really need that rampage, so it's gonna clear it out. Santi gonna get themselves a big old 4K. Oh, Santi's getting rid of 3, clearing out the house.
That is crazy.
Nunji actually kills 3 people.
This team feels entirely different on this faster composition. Now Saga is hanging around, getting onto the high ground. Post bomb's gonna stick on the Leaky. They're not gonna be able to survive it at the end of the day. They just to find a 3K.
Rio shoving this Ana into a corner. Woo! One more for the road for Rio.
That is all signs go. Melophobia with 3. Melophobia start the fight. They'll end the fight. Oh my god. Beagle Bus, they have to play aggressively into this energy, popping off in a moment where you needed just that. Ruby in that backline. Oh, the flick. Looking for it. Oh my goodness. The 4th one as well. Do they get the A? They get the A.
Welcome everyone, one and all, to CGL Season 14 Playoffs Winners, Round 1 in the NAGM tier. We've got Enenra versus Workers Union. My name is Joker, she's Megalas, and we're here yet again for some more playoff action.
Yes, indeed, Joker, one of the few casters who is yet to abandon me for Stockholm. Don't worry, that'll come soon. But it's been 24 hours from now. But speaking of 24 hours time, we've had some matches going on throughout the day. A lovely schedule here. We're obviously covering Enenra versus Workers Union right now. Earlier in the day, Special Forces was able to take on Godstack in the EU side of things. And going on in just about an hour, probably over on CGL2, we'll have Potato Pillagers versus the Vicious Outlaws, one of the 19 billion Vicious teams we have. So,
Yep.
Another chock-full day.
Yeah, and the winner of that game later on has to play against Short Bus, and I forget which one of them called out Short Bus, but they called out Short Bus, and then I told Short Bus that, and they were like, all right, bet, we'll take that game. So watch for that whenever that comes out. But right now, yeah, we're in the NAGM tier. We're taking a look at the first matchup, the top seed, Enenra versus Workers Union here, and that should be a fairly good matchup. Now, I was reading a Twitch chat and said that the last time these two teams played off, it was not very close, and Enenra really kind of won easily. Hopefully for the Workers Union fans, there's at least one of them in the Twitch chat. We'll see if they can come out on top for this time.
Yeah, maybe change some destiny. Again, that extra pressure of the playoffs, it can be that difference, that X factor that some teams need to really shine and get to that next level. That being said, we have to acknowledge the obvious, right? Enenra, they picked Workers Union as their first pick. They know that they can beat this team as they did previously here. So obviously they're coming in with a very big head, very full of themselves, because Enenra, they're currently the team to beat right now here in GM.
Yeah, they are indeed. And let's take a look at and see Enenra here. Now, I don't know if they put out their... Well, it doesn't seem like they put out their team sheet, but Krusty on the DPS. Was not expecting that, not at all. Then Zombie, Red Chimp, CTW, and APVS. Rounding out the rest of the team. I'm interested about this Krusty pick because on their team sheet that they have given us, it says Krusty is a Reinhardt player, and they're playing him on DPS. So, you know what? We'll see how it works for him.
Hey, listen, Bumper played Hanzo once or twice in the Overwatch League. That worked out well, so maybe it can be the same case for Krusty here. But on the other side of things, our team that needs to punch up, Workers Union, definitely still some good talent over here. We've got Hollywood and Narnar Binks on that DPS line, Venusaur on tank, and then Milk and Saya being those ever reliable supports. And I mean, Venusaur is already hovering what's probably going to be the hot button issue of this matchup. Malga's back in the meta, and teams are reacting to it in a bunch of different ways. Some are relieved, some are like, my goodness, we're back to him.
Yeah, obviously, some teams haven't really fully went back into the Malga quite just yet. We saw it yesterday with the VSC Bobcats. They were like, yeah, we'll try the Malga. They weren't really that practiced with it. They went over to the Junker Queen instead and just dominated, right? So I think if a team is, well versed with Malga, how it works right now, right, we'll probably be seeing it. But if not, we might see that Junker Queen again. Might see Orisa still. We'll have to see, obviously. And well, what better way to see than starting off of their first map, which is going to be Lijiang Tower.
I mean, teams, when given the free choice of anything in the world for control, I think Lijiang Tower will always be picked. I think you'd be very hard-pressed to find a team in any region, in any tier, that's not going to opt to go into Lijiang.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, listen. See, Joker, you and I, we are the exception, not the rule, unfortunately. But, I mean, again, it comes back to everybody is comfortable on this map. I mean, most players have been playing this map since 2016. The ins and outs very clearly defined, right? You know which angles you want to take depending on the compositions you're going to play. There's no surprises left anymore, right? You're never going to get caught off guard. So it really does, always set the series nicely as sort of a just mechanics difference here that can always tell those teams apart right off the gate.
And before they do something to catch either team off guard. That'd be funny. But we'll see here, right? Let's take a look. There's the lineup right now as it once was. And we'll see if that's going to continue to be the mainstay. We have some subs for each team. Maybe we'll see some swaps coming out. Maybe we won't. We'll have to wait and see as we're about to go back in a lobby. We're about to go into the game, but then we were sent back to lobby.
Yeah, something went wrong somewhere. I'm sure it happens. Happened to us earlier, actually, over in EU. We got about 10 seconds into the first round, and all of our European players realized, wait a minute, we've gone across the ocean. This is an NA server. So that was a fun little reset that had to come through, but I'm sure it will be sorted quickly. And look, we're already, well, at least we see it. We're on the entering game screen. That's the great thing about being a caster. We get to see everything slightly before you.
And look at that, The sub variant did not change at all either. As we will be loading into the game. We'll take a look here. I mean, hey, we're starting out on night market. Getting some food. I just had food. I can always go for more food. Fair.
Room here, space is going to be created by Enenra as they're in spawn hovering. Okay, I was going to say hovering the ball, which could be interesting, but no, the Malga is going to be the hero of choice here. But interestingly enough, both teams have yet to hover the brig. I wonder if this will actually end up walking out of spawn here. It seems like that will be the case. So Akiriko versus Baptiste, no Brigida's in sight. It definitely can change the dynamic of this comp, makes the Juno just a little bit more frail without that reliable second support to peel for them constantly.
Yeah, I mean, these entries that Workers Union might be able to pull off, though, are going to be incredible. Rush and Orbital Ray is going to be hard-pressed to counter out if you are a Enenra. But first and foremost, you need to get control of this. And there's Hollywood taking Krusty down. Venusaur is going to kind of be a little bit low. Still not really being able to push out, even though they got that first pick onto Krusty. As it looks like Enenra is going to capture up the point first to start it off. But now they have to worry about getting in on this point as Workers Union is Hollywood very low, but a nice dash comes through. Zombie is taken down, and Red Chimp was looking for a slam, but they only find the side of the map. And that's going to be a nice play as Workers Union is able to come in and take back the point.
Yeah, first fight is always going to be better than the first point cap there. And then are only getting 16% for their troubles. But because of how long this went on, Workers Union, they're already towards those devastating support ults you were talking about, right? Having the Orbital Ray and Kitsune this early on, I mean, you can really just kind of chain those into 2 separate fight points.
Yeah, you really can. Both of them are up, and there's the rush to start it off. And now you can just look to finish it off here. Overclock coming in, though. There's the copy coming in onto the Mauga. As Venusaur is going to take Red Chimp out. The copy's not going to really find anything, though. But it still does not matter. You've lost your tank if you're a Enenra, so you have to play it safe.
Have to play it safe for the time being here. You're coming into this next fight. Both teams are going to have Orbital Ray to work with, so Enenra, I feel like it's going to be crucial. Setting up this amplification matrix in a place that'll force Workers Union to actually get off of them and create the space, but it'll be an early Ray.
Yeah, Ray comes on. There's the Amp Matrix as well. And Venusaur is kind of right in front of them. They don't really care. They're not going to die. Now the Orbital Ray coming in. Seat from CTW, and it looks like Workers Unit is just going to kite it away. Cage Fight is available, and it's going to be popped up, but Venusaur is so low, somehow still alive. Finally goes down, but Narnar Banks is going to find CTW, but it's not going to matter. Here's Pix keeps on going through from Enenra as Red Chimp goes crazy with a Cage Fight of their own, finding 4 and taking the point back.
Yeah, I mean, that was just such a beautiful combination, right? They were able to wait out Workers Union, the Orbital Ray, and then come in with their own, and just Red Chimp being able to chunk through everybody on this Mauga here. Now, into this next fight, Workers Union, again, it seems like they're going to want to not take the fight directly in the front of point. They're going to pass backwards and just try to pressure the objective.
Yeah, as Workers Union is already forcing out the point and gonna take it for free. Hey, I mean, you'll take that all day, every day, getting the point back into your favor. Now Hollywood has an opportunity to get the copy. Gonna go over to the Genji, and Narnar Banks has taken CTW out already, trying to build up to a blade. It can, is looking for Hollywood, but might not be in the cards. But right now, you might not even need it. With the Kitsune Rush coming in from Milk, cleaning the house, the remaining members on the point. As there's gonna, wait, Zombies might trade it back, 2 coming in, but they're dealing with a Venusaur on the Mauga, right? That's probably not gonna happen. Maybe not. Venusaur is so very low, rushing back to point, trying to stay alive, but they're gonna go down nonetheless. The overtime is gonna be procced up, but it should be going away, and there it goes, and Enenra takes back control.
I mean, Zombie absolutely just had to be the clutch factor here. Going to get some clean-up picks as well that are so desperately needed for Enenra right now. Looking towards this next one, they will have the advantage with Kitsune Rush, but it's going to be crucial to make sure they end this quickly, right? The longer this fight goes on, it's going to allow Workers Union to build their ultimates. And in a situation of an ult fight after the Kitsune, I mean, Enenra will always be at the disadvantage.
Yeah, as the rush comes in already from APVS, just kind of they're just going to wait it out, right? I mean, they don't really have to pick it off. The Hollywood going down, it's massive, right? And now they're going to have to walk into a couple of ultimates. Obviously, only one almost up here, but Narnar Banks needs to stay alive. Gonna have to rotate back to their team. Not gonna be able to take that angle that they were looking for. 80% and counting now for Enenra. They've got a cage fight of their own, very close to the orbital ray as well. But Saya's gonna drop bears first and foremost. Cage fight coming out. Is it going to be enough? Zombie finds Hollywood. Cage fight in response. Dragon Blade, Pulse Bomb, everything coming on board. And Narnar Banks finds CTW. They are going to get the orbital ray, but no one's going to touch the point. And that is going to be round 1 to Enenra.
I mean, Enenra played that absolutely the way they needed to, right? Having a quick, decisive fight and forcing that final fight situation where ultimates weren't really online yet for the side of Workers Union. They were able to initiate with their orbital ray, but good pathing allowed Enenra to just back out and then come in with their own right after the fact here. So absolutely good round back and forth from both squads. Now we're going to see here on Garden if either team wants to make any switch ups. It seems like both teams are going to be leaning into the Kiriko to start here. Again, instead of that Kiriko, it makes it a very interesting, or the Brigitte rather, it makes it very interesting for how these Junos have to play a little bit more passively, a little more heal body for the rest of the composition to really flourish.
Interesting. Holly One going over to the Pharah, not sticking with the Echo, not mirroring that Sojourn that Zombie is currently putting out. But hey, I mean, if you can get some consistent damage with this Pharah rockets in these tight corridors that we do see on Gardens, you can get some value, but you gotta be careful. We almost saw Zombie right there take the head off of Holly One to start it off. But now we need to see if they can figure it out right now. Play already coming in. Red Chimp very low. Going to get healed up. Narnar Binks as well. Super low, but still no one's found a first pick in this fight quite just yet. CTW, though, getting closer and closer to this orbital ray. That might be a difference maker if they can build it up. APVES is already up to the Kitsune Rush, but Holly One's going to take down Zombie to start things off. There's no real... oh my goodness, they use it, and now they get dealt with nonetheless. The Rush not going to find any value.
Yeah, best case scenario right there for Workers Union, right? Being able to force out the Kitsune Rush and still come away with that fight win without having to invest anything your own, right? Holly One has been taking such great angles on this far and nowhere that the Sojourn can really apply pressure, but still being able to chunk in damage time and again. That makes it hard for Enenra to actually safely contest this point. Gonna be a heavy ult fight heading into the next one here, but it seems like Enenra is, again, they're gonna path themselves into this small room where the rockets can continue to land.
Yeah, but CTW having the orbital ray is huge. They are going to be walking to a Kitsune Rush from Workers Union from Milk here as well, though. See how it's going to work. Kitsune Rush going to be the one to start it off, and the barrage might be coming in here quickly. Orbital ray there as well. Holly One going to get caught. No, barrage going to come through. Going to take down APVS, but Krusty finds two with a pulse bomb, and that's going to wrap it up. Milk is going to find Krusty out, but that's just going to be a consolation prize after that double pulse bomb, as it is just them left on the point, and the point flips over, the team kill coming through.
I mean, again, it feels like the situation just completely flipped. Workers Union investing the Kitsune, the Orbital Ray, and the Barrage all into that to not come up with a fight win is critical, because now Enenra has completely neutralized it, right? We're back at a pretty even ult economy, just these cages to watch out for, as well as a DPS ult to combo with each. The Zombie wants to go first.
Big fight coming in, and now they've got both Mogas are trapped up in it, but Zombie is going to take down Venusaur. There's the Dragon Blade from Narnar Binks. It's going to find Krusty out, but I think that's all they're going to find. Nope, APVS goes down as well, but again, it's not going to matter. Enenra controlling the point.
I mean, it was a very hopeful blade that came out there from Narnar Binks, but Holly One actually getting a good pick on a Zombie means that Workers Union can just engage right away.
Yeah, and that is huge, right? I mean, now they're going to be even forcing out the point. They might be able to take it without an engagement, and now with Red Chimp coming down, APVS using the rush to no avail, just kind of kiting themselves back to their own team and just wasting that ultimate.
APV currently 0 for 2 on impactful Kitsune Rushes on the round. That does not feel good for sure here, but Workers Union are set up that exactly where they want to be, right? You're going to see Holly One continuing to take these angles, being able to pepper in the rocket damage, as well as having their own Kitsune Rush to work with. It's going to have to combat the Orbital Ray from CTW, though.
Rush coming in, Orbital Ray as well on board. Who's going to come out on top of this high damage output? Well, we'll see here. The copy coming in from Krusty. No one's going to go down to the barrage. Almost finding value, but not quite just yet. Krusty going to build up to the cage fight as well, but the picks just keep coming through from Workers Union. The supports are gone from Enenra. Now goes Krusty. Venusaur is just going to use the cage fight to clean up house, and overtime going to tick away. It's all tied up 1-1.
I mean, Saya right there coming up with that later Orbital Ray exactly in the fight when it needed to be dropped, because it definitely looked dicey with Krusty having that duplicate online, like you were saying, being able to cage up the enemy Malga. But still, Orbital Ray, I mean, it's the reason Juno has been defining the meta as of recent, right? It's so unbelievably impactful here. Heading into Control Center, I'd be interested to see some adjustments come through. Holly One, not as many good sightlines for the Pharah here, so if you are going to run it, you're going to be stuck outside of the map a vast majority of the time here. Meanwhile, Enenra for the first time off of the Echo. Instead, you're going to see Krusty taking up that Genji, trying to match Narnar Binks, potentially when these dashes come through.
As now we're going to see here Hollywood going back over to the Pharah yet again. Enenra going towards more of that right. Obviously you need the Reaper for that more of the meta comp, but hey, they're going more meta than Workers Union is at the moment. But we're gonna see if it is they're going to pay out for them right now. As Hollywood very low, trying to play it out. It's going to be Workers Union finding the first pick yet again. Zombie is down for the count. And now goes APV as well. And that should just be the cleanup coming through. It's just CTW left, and they're taken down as well.
And I think it's so important to realize that Workers Union is taking so much time setting up these fights properly, right? They're forcing out impactful cooldowns such as the teleport from APV or the Sojourn slide from Zombie here, and just being able to do that time and again consistently. While it takes extra time, it guarantees these fight wins because the picks come through just like that.
Yeah, Zombie going down already is not what you wanted to see as an Enenra fan, but we'll see if it can turn back the tide. TTW low at the moment, but they're just going to pull back, kite back to the airship, wait it out.
Waiting it out is all they have to do right now, but that's a good pick to start.
It is indeed. Narnar Binks can no longer harass the sightlines as we'll see if it's going to make a difference here. And Enenra is going to be, well, it is going to make a difference. Krusty and Red Chimp combined for 2. That now with the remaining members chasing out. I might look for some late picks. Venusaur so very low is going to go down. A nice stagger kill coming in from Red Chimp.
Beautiful stagger needed at this point, right? Enenra being able to win that one cleanly. We are entering a 10 ult fight here. So really, it's going to be about how much actually has to be invested for whichever team to win, right? If you invest more and you don't come up with a win, then you're going to be dooming yourselves to have a negative ult economy for the rest of the map.
Yeah, now here comes in here. Zombies already found Milk out, and double support ultimates came in from Workers Union, and it is going to, well, seal the deal on the fight victory. And hey, I mean, they had to use 3 ultimates there in that fight, though, and only 2 coming off the board from an Enenra.
I mean, it wasn't just 3, right? The Pharah barrage got invested as well, somewhere in the start of that. So now they're just holding on to Narnar's blade. Obviously has been lethal before here, but again, it comes down to setting up this fight, forcing out some of those impactful cooldowns that can allow people to live before Narnar can really get to work on the blade.
We'll see here, right, as Orbital Ray did come in from CTW. Narnar Binks is just waiting in the shadows, waiting for a chance to blade it out here. No one's seen them. There they go. The blade coming out online. Sliding away is Zombie. They are going to go down to the dash. There comes the kills to make it. Krusty's going to try to turn it around with a blade of their own, but that's just not going to happen. They do find Narnar Binks in the end, but that's all they'll find after that 1 kill as Workers Union takes back the point.
They take it back and they're heading towards what could be their final fight. Hollywood has not had the best barrages, but this barrage doesn't have to be the best, right? You're ultimately looking for 1, potentially 2 picks to turn the tide in the fight, really put the favor, you know, in Workers Union's hands here. And then Enenra on the other side, they got to break in.
They do indeed, as now we'll see how they can do it. There's the barrage coming in, and Hollywood finds Zombie. Krusty turns it back, though. They got that first pick, and now Saya falls down as well. Very close to the Kitsune Rush that could clean house, but it might just be an Enenra running, or Workers Union running for the hills, but the Kitsune Rush coming in, cage fight as well. Red Chimp goes down. Point is being pressured out by Enenra, but I don't know how long they're going to be able to hold as Venusaur's found CTW. Krusty falls down, and Workers Union take map number 1.
Already they've proven they can step to Enenra here, very close across most of Lijiang here, but coming away with it is sending a massive statement here, especially on, you know, some unorthodox picks. Again, being able to find insane value on this Pharah, as well as forcing this Kiriko style, right? No Brigittas in play here. This was what Workers Union came in doing first, and it was on the side of Enenra that chose to adapt and try to take it for their own here. Obviously, you know, that's a more than respectful play, but, you do have to wonder, if you're the side of Enenra now, why'd you end up mirroring something that wasn't your original idea?
Yeah. We'll have to see, right? I mean, if that's going to bite them in the butt going down the line, they do have choice of map type and map type and map pick, obviously. We'll see where they decide to take us, right? I mean, I can't think of where I'd take. I mean, obviously, if I was in their shoes, I'd play a map type that I like, so I'd go to Flashpoint. But I don't think that's what's on their mind quite right now. Do we see them again? Like I said yesterday, do we see the losing team pick a map type that they're more comfortable on, or are we going to see one that maybe they don't want to see down the line if this goes past 3 maps, right?
Yeah, and I mean, that's part of the mind game, right? When you have this extra layer of being able to choose not just the map, but the mode as well, being able to eliminate entire modes from selection, it really can influence how the series goes here. Because we've seen so many series this season, right? When it's because of how orthodox it's been, right? You're on control, immediately into hybrid. Normally you're just picking a hybrid map depending on what you want to play, but being able to expand beyond that, modes that are maybe a little bit more intense, that rely on ult cycling and mechanics versus the raw planning, like Clash, Flashpoint, Push even, can fall into these categories. If you could just force those modes a lot more, if you can mechanics diff the other team, all of a sudden, you're going to put the other team on a back foot where they have no room to work.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, where we decide to go. You don't have anything from Enenra quite just yet. Obviously, there's obviously hybrid Flashpoint. It's Flashpoint. What are we doing, Headrammer? Oh my goodness. Look at the map. Look at the map full of Megalast. He put Flash. What are we doing?
Well, yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think that's a creative little name to combo the 2 modes. Granted, if it were up to me, this is just my personal take, I would combine Clash with Push. I think Flashpoint is more enjoyable than Push. And that's just from a
best game mode in Overwatch 2.
Absolutely, I agree with that. I think it's a very interesting game mode. It promotes, actual tracking of ults. It actually forces you to actually think about not just the fight you're in, but the fights that come after, which is why it's so interesting. But I think you and I are going to have to wait a little bit longer before we see any Flashpoint, because the pick has come through, and it seems like we're going on a little bit of a vacation to Blizzard World.
Yeah, we're going to Blizzard World here. We're heading to hybrid as well. So that is off the board down the line. If we head into those later map picks, well, we're obviously going to head to another one after this map, but down the line, 4, 5, 6, if we get there, hybrid's off the board. We'll see. I mean, obviously, I've seen teams that go to Blizzard World because no one really, scrims Blizzard World. If you're scrimming hybrid, you're scrimming scrimming King's Row, right? So I've seen these teams that pick Blizzard World because they just know it so much better than their opponents, and they kind of just turn the entire series on its head afterwards, where it didn't even look competitive afterwards. Well, I mean, obviously we'll see if that is going to be the case with Enenra's choice here. Workers Union can match them on the on this Blizzard World pick. And interestingly enough, it looks like Workers Union is sticking on the attack here. They're going to push the objective as much as they can and try to have Enenra play at their own at their pace, not no defensive, trying to get a nice defensive hold to start it off.
And that's going to be super interesting to, there's always those, again, that extra level of mind games, right? Are you really ready to push? Do you want to set the boundary first to see how it goes here? But, we will have to see how that goes, as well as what compositions are going to be played. The Malga, a little bit more difficult, as across both first and second point. You do have some decent high grounds to control. You have seen some teams opt into things like the Diva or the Wrecking Ball here, but at least for the defense guaranteed, Enenra, they do not want to switch anything up. They're just going to continue on this Malga composition. They just feel it is the best right now. Workers Union and Spawn hovering the same, but I think what I'm most interested in for these two squads, since we're keeping comps from Li Jiang, will APV end up going over to the Kiri at some point, again trying to mirror a style that isn't organically theirs, or will this Baptiste actually, be able to provide the value that we were missing on Li Jiang?
We're gonna see, right? They forced him off of it after, initially, mirrored him after that second map, but after that they lost, right? So we'll see if they can stick on this Baptiste. But right now, they are going to be rotating up to high ground is Workers Union, taking it fully away from Enenra, who was there for a moment, just a moment, but still there nonetheless. Now rotating even farther behind on a full trip here for Workers Union is Narnar Binks going low, gonna get healed up and dashing away. This Venusaur is gonna stay alive. Krusty goes down. Narnar Binks very low. APV is gonna be able to take them out. But they might be able to find more here, but Zombie is, still anyone's point right now. No one's really focusing a single target quite just yet. As they're still just waiting it out. They're kind of just caught in this middle of a rock and a hard place right now. They are going to finally push in, but Krusty is going to take down Hollyone, and that might just be the beginning of the end of this push, and it does seem to be the case as Narnar Binks gets caught out by Red Chimp and Krusty there.
Yeah, and I mean, Workers Union, the very sort of interesting decision-making that comes through, right? They lose one, so they're like, you know what, it's fine. We're going to continue to hold our positioning behind them. We'll wait for that one to get back, and we can still assault. Meanwhile, Enenra was just like, that's fine. We can keep you guys separated and just delay as much time as possible off the clock here. Like, we've already almost burnt through half of the attackers' time that they're initially given. So Workers Union, they are going to have to start working to come up with something, seeing as they're heading into an ult fight.
Yeah, we'll see here as they're going to take the same pathing yet again. Just, you know what? And until they can figure it out, this is going to buy Enenra even more time because it's just going to buy time off the clock. Got to be able to find a pick, and the cage fight might just do it well. The Amp Matrix coming in from APV. They haven't found anything quite just yet, and Hollyone's in the skies taking down APV as well. And now another direct coming in onto Krusty, and that might just be the end of it. CTW is going to find out Saya, but Hollyone's rockets are ever true and are going to be able to help Workers Union take the first point here.
I mean, yeah, these rockets absolutely being devastating right now, and I love the positioning that's coming out from Hollywood. Right, you do have to be very aware of what you're doing to actually pilot the Pharah and make it work. Especially, I mean, look at Enenra. They're coming off on this main hit scan of Ash as well as Zombie, who can definitely do some damage to those sky targets. It's absolutely crazy here. Enenra, for their defense, it's going to be crucial for them to maintain control of this high ground to leave their DPS in the best position to take shots.
Yes, now we'll see if they can continue. Oh, Hollywood. That was unfortunate. Is trying to get probably a little bit higher. Now with the cage fight coming in, I don't think anyone got caught in it. Red Chimp. It's an unfortunate little. I mean, hey, you know what? No, never mind. It's going to buy time off the board for Enenra's defense right now, and Red Chimp's now just going to back away. Orbital Ray coming in, though, from Saya. Now they're going to be met with a barrage coming in from Krusty, or barrage coming in from Hollywood, taking out Krusty's Bob, and looks like Workers Union still have control of this, especially with that pick onto Red Chimp. And that's all they're going to really need to find. Maybe not with Zombie going down as well. And that's finally Workers Union opening more.
The opening more of the map up, it's super crucial for them here. Because looking towards this next fight, right, all Enenra has is their big win button, which is going to be the Orbital Ray. But Workers Union, they can sit inside of it with the Kitsune Rush, keeping them sustained as well here. And then after the fact, right, that blade can come through as well as the cage. I mean, Workers Union have it all right now.
See here, there is the cage fight coming in. Zombies found Zaya. The Dragon Blade, though, from Narnar Binks is going to take down CTW as well, and a nice deflect kill onto APV. Krusty is going to find Narnar Binks, but that's all they are going to be able to find in the end. Workers Union yet again capture the next point.
I mean, Workers Union looking absolutely incredible right now, right? I feel like they've unlocked this new sort of style that's made them extremely lethal with the double projectile. A lot of teams would not be bold enough to run this. They just would rather have the consistent damage of a hit scan in play here, but Enenra has been, you know, sort of salvaging, trying to figure out answers here, and I don't think they're going to come up with a lot more.
Yeah. Well, that's to see. I mean, Zombie finding Hollywood out is going to be huge, though, right? They know they have that opportunity to go into this, but it looks just like Workers Union. I mean, they have the time. They can just wait for their respawn.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely take the time, get your respawns back in, but that time is going to build Enenra towards some impactful ultimates, right? You already have the cage online for Red Chimp, as well as we're getting close to an overclock and a pulse bomb for these DPS, so Enenra now finally starting to stabilize their defense.
As now rotation coming in, the speed ring out, and there is the cage fight coming in, but it's already dealt with immediately with the barrage that Hollywood popped in. Now the orbital ray coming through, and Milk is taken down. Krusty, some more directs coming in from Hollywood. They are going to get taken down with a nice rail shot to the dome from Zombie, and there's another one comes through. Narnar Binks is going to get taken out as well, but still in control is Workers Union for the moment. They are going to have to back up, though.
Yeah, they don't have the members to get this one done in this push here. And Enenra, they'll gladly take that trade, right? Being able to force out Orbital Ray for just a few extra meters. Now coming into it with their own Orbital Ray to work with and those DPS ults, as previously mentioned. Enenra should be able to continue snowballing this until, you know, potentially 2-3 more fights.
There is the cage fight coming in. Orbital Ray, though, in response to CTW trying to get their Mauga the upper hand, and Zombie finding Hollywood out. Milk goes down as well. The rush was invested into this for Workers Union, but it's not going to find any value as Enenra are looking to stop them on the doorstep of point number 3 here.
And this has been a good resurgence here because, again, they haven't been overcommitting for the side of Enenra. They've been able to win these fights in very reserved manners, actually. Still having the Pulse Bomb and now an Amplification Matrix to work with. It's going to deny so much space on this entry here. So Workers Union, at some point, they're going to have to stop giving respect and, even in the face of adversity, push forward.
Yeah, we'll see here, right? I mean, there's still an opportunity to get the full capture, especially if they can find a pick, and there it is, Zombie going down, cage fight coming through, Narnar Binks slicing and dicing their way to victory. Pulse Bomb is going to take down Venusaur, but that's all Krusty's going to find. They are still going to look to hold it out. Krusty very low, recall comes out. Can they get over the hump here? Is Workers Union. Hollywood having the barrage is huge. Gonna stop them at the door. You need to stay on the point! You need to stay on the point! Okay, please. Thank you. Get it back on the point. Get back on the point. Get back on the point. Get back on the point. Okay, they got back on the point, and now we'll see if they can continue to do so. Saya is going to go down, was trying to build up to that orbital ray. Now we might be able to enough. Venusaur is going to go down. Red Chimp finding that pick is huge, but Red Chimp's just going to stay on the point. But Narnar Binks continuing to find final blows here. 3 so far in this fight. Red Chimp still trying to hold on. The Kitsune Rush is going to come through. Red Chimp continuing. Oh no, they didn't get it. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, being able to hold that at what is quite literally the very end there, I think only 4 meters stopping that from being a full cap here. It's, you know, probably not exactly what Enenra was after here, but you do have a actual stopping point, right? They weren't able to get the payload moving all the way through. And, you know, you did see some interesting sort of things start to get figured out for Enenra, right? I feel like Hollywood's impact is being severely minimalized by Krusty and Zombie just constantly applying pressure to this Pharah. Anytime they peek out and you know, that's great and all, but there's still other members of Workers Union you have to work to mitigate, right? Narnar being the highlight, constantly in the backline, doing crazy things on this Genji here time and again. You're really, I would like to see Enenra sort of focus that a little bit more while still keeping Holly 1 in check, right? Because normally when teams switch focus like that, it ends up just backfiring. They have to be able to spread their resources evenly to actually keep everybody at a neutral here for this defense to really work. Or attack, rather.
I'm interested to see what APV comes out on here. Megalass is okay, finally gonna come out, and it looks like they're gonna go back to the Kiriko. We'll see if that helps him out here. Oh, nope. Baptiste sticking with the Baptiste. I mean, it showed some. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know if it really pushed the objective one way or the other. We'll see if it can do that for them on the attack here. But right now, both teams waiting for the first move. Is Red Chimp taking some consistent damage? Gonna help get CTW up the orbital ray, but Venusaur finding out CTW already is huge. And now they're gonna just have to back up. Yeah, oh, okay. No disconnect. It is just someone in the spectators. It's not going to matter as Zombie does find another pick on a Narnar Binks, and maybe with Holly 1 getting a little overzealous, now they're going to have to back up. And now there's an opportunity for Enenra to come back into this, especially finding Milk. And wow, that is an unfortunate play coming in from Workers Union. They had it in their cards to hold it out, but might not.
Yeah, I mean, they just absolutely, for the defense, went a little too far forward, getting a little too aggressive, and Zombie took advantage of that, knowing they could still have an impact in the fight. But it seems like Workers Union wants to commit to this still.
But yeah, but losing Venusaur like that, I mean, they're not going to really be able to do much more as the rest of your team's falling down around you. And it's just Narnar Binks left, and the checkpoint is unlocked. Team kill comes through. 5 minutes on the board for Enenra.
And not only are you getting that team kill and you're going to be able to push the payload early, right? But you see it. This high ground control is already established because of how late in the fight Workers Union ended up dying here. So Workers Union now have two parts of their defense where they have to actually retake control of high ground before they can even worry about stopping the payload.
We'll see here now. Already trying to take back the high ground away from Enenra, but well, maybe they're still going to try to take it away from him. And for the moment, they are pushing back Enenra, and they find Zombie out a huge opening. Still, they need to find more if they want to really make a difference right now. The orbital ray is going to come online, and they're going to be able to take down Red Chimp, do Workers Union, and are going to be able to get the cart into their control.
The cart on the defense's control is massive right now, but because they're going to have to start burning through this massive time bank that Enenra has already accrued. But Enenra coming into this one, 5 ultimates to their name, including that also powerful orbital ray here. As long as Enenra does not have to overinvest, they should be setting themselves up pretty for the rest of Point B.
We'll see here now as Venusaur's already taken down Red Chimp. The overclock coming in from Holly 1, who's made the swap over to the Sojourn, working out well, taking Krusty out and the rest of the team to help confirm the team kill.
And then I mean, it's not the end of the world, right? You traded ults 2 for 2 here, so you're still going to be up. You didn't overinvest or anything like that. But, I mean, you're holding on to some of these ultimates a little bit too long, right? I mean, we know how powerful Orbital Ray is, how quickly it can build. That should always sort of be your first thought in these fights, and they're just not willing to commit it seems.
Tune Rush coming in, and Narnar Binks is down. There's the Amp Matrix coming in online. Trades keep coming through, but Zombie and Krusty are on top now with APV finding that pick on the Milk, and Venusaur getting caught as they tried to disengage, and Enenra can push the cart forward.
Push the cart forward, and this is going to be a disaster here for Workers Union's defense, right? They're going to have to be able to actually contest the payload here as it almost caps into Point B. Meanwhile, Zombie's going to be uncontested on the high ground, doing just that.
Not good at all. Are going to be able to contest it, but for how long? They are going to get the orbital ray out. Which is going to be nice for the long run, but other than that, and they get the overclock out from Enenra as well. 3 minutes and 39 seconds on the board to basically get to the end of point 3 here.
Enenra, it's looking good for them here. Obviously, you still have to actually go and do it. And as we saw, these defenses can get really strong on point 3. Not as much high ground to contest and fight over as points A and B. Means that, you know, the Sojourn has a little bit less impact, and it again becomes a very Malga-centric game here with both Malgas just shooting into each other.
Now, we'll see here, is Red Chimp going to push forward, trying to build up to their last couple of percentages. Cage fight, Venusaur is very low, and Narnar Binks is taken down. They have cage fight of their own. They have this orbital ray, and the cage fight is going to come in. Orbital array as well. They want to finish this. Oh, and Krusty's kind of just stuck on the chains of Venusaur, and Red Chimp is going to get taken down as well. As Enenra is going to disengage. Venusaur gets caught out. Not what you wanted to see. And now Enenra can really push this, push the objective forward, and they might be able to get very close to the end here. Overclock coming online from Hollywood, trying to pump in damage here onto Red Chimp. Take them out of the fight and take them out early. But right now, they can't really do that. Kitsune Rush coming online. Krusty's just slicing and dicing in the back line. Hollywood's down. Saya's down. This might just be the end of it all here. Krusty is going to get taken down, though, but the orbital ray from CTW is there to finish the deal, and that is going to be it. Point goes to Enenra and map as well. It's 1-1 all around.
I mean, beautiful map choice coming through from Enenra. It wasn't looking that good on their defense, but their offense certainly made up for it in spades here. They showed that they knew exactly what they wanted to do, especially with Zombie constantly doing stuff like this. Like, this is just a play of the game, but I mean, all map long, so many fights were being opened up by this Sojourn, just hitting a rail out of nowhere, and that's not something you can ever really coach or plan for. Just in the moment, these players have to be stepping up to the plate, and Zombie did it right there.
Yeah, they really did. They were really on top of things for Enenra. And I mean, not just that, Krusty was there as well. Everyone pulling their weight for Enenra right now. All tied up 1-1, headed to a short little break. You're not going to want to miss the conclusion of this series, so stick around right after this. Welcome back, everyone. It is all tied 1-1 in the winners round number 1. Enenra versus Workers Union, currently looking to go up in the series in a few short moments, Megalas. And interestingly enough, Workers Union has made the decision to make everyone's night miserable and decided to go to Clash.
Yeah, the only justification of this decision is it's as close as you're gonna get back to that control sort of style where the fights, can sort of snowball and dictate the pace from there. And Enenra, didn't look as strong in that specific style of Overwatch here. So Workers Union maybe trying to seize some potential on that weakness there after a very close Blizzard world, but ultimately, I think it's going to be very interesting when we see these teams pick Clash in the playoffs, purely because it's not going to be a requirement in the slightest, because you can obviously just skip the mode altogether. So these teams that do pick it are probably scrimming it pretty consistently versus other teams, potentially like Enenra, who are just absolutely missing out because they don't want to touch it.
Yeah, I mean, goodness, I wish Workers Union didn't want to touch this map, but hey, might as well play it now, and you don't have to play it later, right? I guess. And again, it is kind of one of those maps that can go in anyone's favor, right? Like Flashpoint. Again, why didn't we just play Flashpoint, right? I mean, could have just solved everyone's problems and just gone to Flashpoint instead. But we'll see how it works for him here. Still sticking with the Pharah. After Hollywood did look pretty comfortable on the Sojourn as well. But we're gonna see here. What's Enenra going to do? They still haven't locked things in. Zombie finally locking it in, and where's their fourth player? The fifth player. There's their fifth player going back over to the Baptiste.
Yeah, the pause coming out from Redship, and immediately never mind, realizing, oh wait, our BAP is here. But yeah, I mean, having that Baptiste, it's going to be interesting here in a much faster paced game mode. APV is going to have to be careful where they position so as not to come under pressure too often.
We'll see here, right? A Red Chimp already trying to take space away from Workers Union, now just dueling on the point. The Gatling guns going as fast as they can. As right now, they just wait it out. They're gonna rotate in here. Venusaur very low, but Hollywood's gonna find the first pick onto Red Chimp. Went a little too aggro. Could not get the healing that they so desired from the rest of their teams. Hollywood's gonna back up, get the health back. Still, it's anyone's point for the moment, and Zombie's landing these shots, so it is going to be a little bit harder. You can't take those sight lines, and Zombie's going to be able to take it out. But right now, Workers Union are in control, but not for much longer, with Zombie finding another pick onto Narnar Binks. A third one, biting the dust off of Zombie's railgun. This is going to be Enenra looking to take the first Clash point.
I mean, Zombie putting on a clinic right now. There's no other words for it. Being able to do so much on this Sojourn pick and helping that first point be secured for Enenra here. Looking towards point D, it's going to be important for, again, this battle of the high ground here. Because if Zombie can get set up here without too much contesting, it could be disastrous for Workers Union.
So they're going to already come into this fight. Red Chimp very low, is going to back up for the moment, at least. They are going to get the capture point unlocked for the time being. They are going to get Krusty in it just barely in the cage fight. Going to take them down. Hollywood, though, is going to go down. Orbital Ray coming online, as well as the Amp Matrix here, and it's going to really help Enenra get back in control of things on this point D. For the moment, Narnar Binks is going to try to stall it out for a little bit longer, but that's only going to be a little bit longer. Milk goes down as well, and it looks like we're going to see Enenra take their second Clash point.
Yeah, and I mean, they overlaid their support ultimates, which could look a little bit bad, but I mean, ultimately, right, they set up Zombie, the shots came in, the space is being made by Red Chip. like it's just all going well for Enenra right now. They're pushing towards point E. They don't have to invest at all. It's going to be Workers Union who has to decide how much they commit to this fight in order to make sure they can cap in their own spawn.
Obviously, they can finish it off here, but everything and finding Saya out is huge. Now you can definitely invest into this. You have an opportunity, especially now with Narnar Binks going down. You do lose Zombie, but that's all you might find here. They're going to back up. They're going to have to. They don't have the numbers right now, and you're going to get at least one tick on this final point here. More and more players are coming back. Saya going to use their orbital ray to get back in control of this, but you can just back up and walk away if you are Enenra. That's how much in control of this Clash map you are right now.
Exactly, right? We talked about it. Enenra did not have to throw anything into that. The 2 ults they were missing, they've just built back up to them. Meanwhile, Workers Union just had to empty the bank, only working with a barrage and getting close to a cage fight for this next one. I mean, it really is Enenra's point to lose right now. They've just got everything going for them. They've got the positioning, the ults, it's every...
And the thing is, finding Red Chimp is huge. I was going to say, all you need to do is win this next map and get 1 capture percentage on point E to finish it off. But it looks like Workers Union are going to be in stark control of point D and are going to be able to start at least getting things towards even, unless Enenra do try to take this point, and they are still going to try it out. Is the cage fight going to come out? There's the Dragon Blade coming in from Krusty in the back, and Red Chimp finding Hollywood. Cage fight coming down as Krusty slices and dices. 3 down. That's the point, most likely going the way, and they're going to be on 1 Clash point left.
I mean, Venusaur investing that cage there, that's something that you were going to desperately want back. I don't know what hero play you thought Malga was making in that situation, but Enenra, like you said, now only 1 point stands between them and victory here on Clash, and they have an orbital ray and overclock combo to do it with. Meanwhile, Workers Union, they've tapped the bank. They have nothing right now. Nothing at all.
Gotta figure it out, right? This orbital ray can seal the deal. Milk having the Kitsune rush is huge, but Saya so very low. You need your Juno to stay alive, but Venusaur is now down. This might just be the nail in the coffin. The rush coming online, finishing everything up for Enenra. I mean, they can't really do anything at the moment as Workers Union. They don't, right? Well, they not for long, but hey, they're still waiting it out. They're still trying to hold this. The orbital ray really going to seal the deal, though. But are they going to be able to have enough? There's 1 point. There's going to be 2 to finish it off. I mean, it's taking its sweet time. They might get a last-second touch here, and they are going to, but Hollywood's going to go down. Dragon Blade coming online, but CTW is down. They might have an opportunity. They need to find more, though, and Red Chimp going down is huge. Still, Narnar Binks falls down. Barrage coming online. The trades keep coming through. You've got to stay on point if you are Workers Union, and finally, it looks like they are going to be able to hold on. Wow, it literally got to maybe like a 0.1 or 2% for Enenra to win it.
I was gonna say, it felt like almost like a sitcom. I was watching like it slowly tick, like it was like actively attempting to give Workers Union the chance to get back in here. But Enenra dumped into that fight so heavily. Now only going to have the Dragon Blade to work with here. And the question is, when do they invest, right? Do they just try to win it purely off of Krusty's Blade, knowing that something like the cage fight from Venusaur is going to be online? Or, you know, do they potentially give up this point, set themselves up for a better fight on point C?
Yeah, but I mean, if they give up on this point, right, I mean, they could end up putting themselves on a back seat here. There's the cage fight coming out in from Venusaur already. They need to be able to take down Red Chimp, and they are going to be able to do that. But now they need to find more, right? That's the next. Oh, maybe not. It looks like Enenra is just going to back up here and might just give away this point D here, like you were saying, Megalas.
Yeah, it just makes more sense, right? Like, you have points to give if you're Enenra. Now, point C, I feel like you don't want to give it up, but again, you still can. You really could force it all the way to that final fight, because Worker Union is still the one that are working at a deficit right now in terms of objectives captured. So you're going to probably see them aggressively invest this Kitsune Rush into this fight, because they just simply have to. They realize their backs are against the wall.
Honestly, I mean, they're setting themselves up for a good map, especially if they can take this fight win here. With the Dragon Blade coming down, taking out Saya, who is trying to build up that Ray. Krusty is only going to find one pick with it, though. Now Krusty's all alone, but the overclock coming in from zombies might seal the deal, with Venusaur falling down. Barrage coming out, though, but it's only going to find APV, and yeah, that's really going to be about it with the remaining members left on point. Narnar Binks trying to save the day, and somehow almost did it, but Krusty taking them down nonetheless, and they're just going to try to hold the doorstep. Cage fight might come out. No, they're going to be able to get the touch before the cage fight comes out. Oh my goodness, there's no way Workers Union have done this, have held on to the point for so long, and they're going to be able to take it back. There is a win con, though. Enenra has the Orbital Ray.
Yeah, I mean, but the Orbital Ray is going to be mirrored on both sides here, so it's really about if Red Chimp can catch Narnar Binks in the cage here.
There's the Dragon Blade. Saya finds out CTW. The Orbital Ray is gone. Saya with a hero play to save the day for the time being. They invest only one ultimate, or two ultimates, and are able to save the day. It's all down to point B.
I mean, upside for Enenra, they have held on to their own Orbital Ray. They just got it out on the other side of things here, as well as a cage fight, right? You drop that on top of any one member, you're guaranteeing a kill to come through. But, the absolute only thing that cannot happen for Enenra right now is this cage whipping. Like, it has to connect onto one member at least.
Cage fight coming out from both of the Maugas. Who's going to come out on top? It looks like, yeah, Enenra with that Orbital Ray is really going to help them seal the deal. Red Chimp slamming into the opposition. But I think this should be it. There's no real chance for a last-second contest. Do they have another thing in the cards? No, they do not. Enenra take the map and go up 2-1 in the series.
I mean, Enenra wins it, but that was insanity from Workers Union. They actively refused to lose in what felt like 3 different occasions with the touches that were coming through. But unfortunately, when they find themselves so far behind the 8 ball to start with, right, where they find themselves down 4 points already just off rip, there's going to come a point where the team you're up against realizes they can just stack ults and gain an advantage that way to finally secure out the map, which is exactly what Enenra did.
Yeah, we'll see here, right? That was a very, very close clash. We'll see if Workers Union has something in their back pocket, something that they were saving for a time like this, because, well, what better time to do it when your back is against the wall. Enenra up 2-1, looking to book a ticket to the winners round 2, and then whoever loses obviously goes to losers round 1. We'll see. Right now, it's anyone's match, but Enenra is in the driver's seat.
Exactly, and I mean, this is Workers Union still, again, right, coming into this matchup, they definitely were the underdogs, and even though they find themselves down 1 map right now, they're playing Enenra incredibly close. They're making them scared. They're making smart decisions, but they have to find some extra edge to bring themselves over the line here, because ultimately when momentum gets away from them, right, they have to battle back through so much, and unfortunately even the best team in the world can't battle back from some of these circumstances when they come through. Workers Union, hopefully they just slow it down, take a breath for a moment, and start to formulate their game plans a little bit cleaner here. But again, on the other side of things, if you're an Enenra, everything's working right now. It's barely working. There's leaks, there's electrical things happening, but hey, the car is still in motion, so you might as well just keep working it the exact same way you have been.
Yeah, it just reminded me like the old cartoon trope. Oh, there's a hole in the boat, but we forgot a pail and we're bailing ourselves up fast enough with the plays that they're making, right? And I feel like that is kind of similar to what Enenra is doing right now. Obviously, there are plays that they're making that are incredible, but then, like you said, there are some times that they look shaky and are allowing Workers Union to stay in this series. They're not playing like the team that was so dominant during the regular season, right? I mean, I think if I'm not mistaken, yeah, they only lost one match during the regular season, only dropping 4 maps. This isn't looking like the team that was the number 1 seed in the GM tier right now. They've got to figure it out. They are still up 2-1 in the series. They've got to close it out before Workers Union can really deal with the flaws that are in their game right now.
And yeah, I mean, there's so many things that can be extrapolated from that here, as we are still just waiting for Workers Union to make their decision, right? We're either going to push or escort. You can't double pick a mode, and that's one of the other advantages of having Flashpoint and Clash both put into the same game mode, right? You're taking 2 modes out with 1 stone. This happened, I believe, off stream here, but me and Joker were adamantly talking about how much we love Flashpoint, how it's such a good mode, it causes such great entertaining matches, even if they end up being one-sided. And the fact that we just don't get any Flashpoint today, it's a little bit sad. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit sad.
Flashpoint is absolute cinema, and Clash is kind of like just like, I don't know. What was that terrible movie, that Mega Zoopolis or whatever it was called? Or whatever that new Santa movie with The Rock is.
Oh, the red one?
Yeah, Red whatever. Red One, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like...
It's bad movies. It's like new Marvel versus old Marvel, right? It's just unfortunate. We've got to figure this out. We got to take Clash and Flashpoint out of the same category, because Flashpoint, like we said, best map in the game. Best map type in the game right now. It bodes itself well, so much better to 5v5 than Clash does. At this point, we'll see how it's gonna work for him. At the moment, it looks like we might be getting.
They tried to pick Servasa. They tried to pick. It's too
ridiculous.
Late. You realize too late how the peak you missed out on. You missed the screening for Oppenheimer, and now the only tickets left in the theater are to Morbius. So you just gotta go buy them. That's all. There's no other options for you.
You know what's really funny?
What?
Morbius outsold Joker 2 in opening weekend.
I mean, I believe it purely for the fact of
both bad movies, to be fair.
Joker 2. I could talk about movies all day long. Like, it's crazy how they took such a great movie with Joker and they were like, all right, let's ruin it in every humanly way possible.
Okay, all right. I'll say I like some of the musical numbers, but yeah, they did kind of just ruin it, right?
As the person who's literally getting an education for, theater and musicals and stuff like that, like that's literally what my degree is going to be. I mean, you had good singers. I won't deny that the singers had talent.
I love Joaquin Phoenix's voice. Have you watched him play? He played Johnny Cash in the Johnny Cash movie. It's called
Did
Walk
he?
the Line. Yes.
Okay, I was gonna say I feel like that's something that vaguely scratches the back of my head, but I do not think I've watched it.
Right, you should watch that. I watched it after I watched the Elvis movie.
Oh, with Austin Butler?
Yeah, with Austin Butler, because I was like, oh, did Johnny Cash have a movie? And it was like, oh, Joaquin Phoenix is in it. I'll watch that right afterwards, and I did, and it was good. It looks like we have finally have our map choice, and it looks like we're gonna head to Runasapi here. I still don't think I've been able to to cast this or even see this map before, so this will be a fun first time look at it for me.
What do you mean?
What?
This map's been out for how many months? This is what, season 10? Season season 10 definitely, because season 8 was Malga. Like, what do you mean you just haven't seen Runasapi?
Were you not in any of my staff chat or staff pug lobbies? I had
No,
said
I actually don't think
multiple
we
times,
were.
I have not played this game in months.
You know,
This is the first time I played the game.
okay,
in
but like,
months.
but there's a difference between playing the game and seeing the map, right? Like surely you've seen Runasapi before. There's like,
I don't think so.
there's like pathways and there's like roofs that you think you can like hover on if you're far up, but fun fact, you can't.
I don't think I have. I mean, I feel like there was a couple of times that Runasapi was going to be picked, but then it wasn't picked,
Okay.
and I was like, oh, okay. And then they went to a different map instead.
Here, before I mauled out of control about that, let me mauled about something else. Workers Union, as you just saw there on screen, y'all, making a substitution, taking out I was gonna say Jar Jar Binks, taking out probably their best DPS. I'm gonna be real. Hollywood's been good, but I mean, like, really on another level, and putting in Suadir for, you know, what could be final map. I mean, it could be a playstyle thing where maybe you don't want to play Genji here, but like, I don't know if the Reaper's worth the sub. I'm gonna be honest.
Hey, Reaper is kind of a must pick in this Malga meta, and I'm surprised it's taken this long to see it. We'll see how it works. I mean, again, it's just so weird to see Malga being played without the Brigitte as well. But we'll see. I mean, Reaper works so well with Malga. If you can stick together, you get so much healing with the cardiac overdrive. We'll see how it works for him right now, as they're going to push in already. Frontline damage is going to be so overwhelming, and they're going to have to burn the immortality field already. And Enenra is going to be already on the back foot for the moment, at least, right? Hollywood on the Cassidy, trying to focus someone out, but you can't get that consistent damage that you would like if you are like you have from Zombie here on the Sojourn. And Venusaur is going to get taken down already, and the rest of Workers Union is going to crumble around them.
I mean, crumble is exactly the word, right? And then are sort of just encircled their prey slowly but surely until being able to burst through and get those eliminations. So now with the push bot starting to go here, it is going to be interesting to see how this map control ends up shaking out. Like Enenra, you see, isn't trying to go too far forward, which has been their strategy, holding a lot of space. They're more so sticking towards the bot. Of course, the Sojourn's on a bit of a flank angle, and getting value from it is still Zombie.
Yeah, that is not good. Not good at all if you're a Workers Union fan right now. They've got to clean it up. But Hollywood going down already. As, yeah, this should just be another fight win. Now, I would say, I liked the Reaper, but I would have liked, like you said, to have seen Narnar Binks to stay in and still play that Genji with Suadir on this Reaper.
Yeah, like the Cassidy, it doesn't offer anything extra special that you couldn't try to get through with a Genji, right? You're still playing at those medium ranges, so you're not going to get an advantage on the Sojourn or anything like that. Realistically, the Cassidy, the only thing it's going to help you with is trying to burst down the Malga.
And now you might be able to do that. No, they're going to get stunned out of that, Fingers crossed, he just... Ooh, Death Blossom, though, is going to find only one as Krusty Slice dicing their way to victory. The Team Kill coming through, and the final push coming in, and they have everything to do it.
Oh my god, I mean, this feels exactly like Clash, because Workers Union, even if they start stabilizing, getting some good fight wins under their belt like they can with the ults they have to battle back through everything, right? Already 117 meters for the side of Enenra that you have to try to push back, right? Anything above 50 is never guaranteed.
Guys now coming in. All the ultimates on the board. Suadir's found Red Chimp out. A huge play. That's what they desperately needed. They needed something to change back into their favor as Suadir does go down. Yeah, I agree with Red Chimp. I am also overstimulated from that fight.
I think everybody needs just a warm blankie and a moment to rest from that one. But no rest for the Wicked here. As you're seeing, Workers Union, they push forward to deny forward spawns, but because they don't have the rest of their team, they're just going to have to back out and wait and regroup. It's important to deny those forward spawns, though, but Workers Union now, they have to win this next fight. Otherwise, they just get re-enabled and just resetting the whole issue once again.
Here now as they're going to push in already. Workers Union looking to get another fight win under their belt. They desperately need it, but losing Venusaur already, and there goes more and more around them like dominoes falling down one after the other as the team kill comes through. Forward spawns activated again. Enenra have an opportunity to keep pushing forward.
Keep pushing forward is going to be the name of the game here. They are working without CTW. The Juno did die in that fight, so having to make sure they get back here. That's why you're not seeing them hold too aggressively. But now I'm sure has been enough time for them to get back and start the next fight.
Yes, now we go into this fight. Suadir having the Death Blossom could be huge, but there's Suadir out of the fight already. Gonna get stunned up, and Holly1 is down amidst their Genji play, and that's disastrous for Workers Union. Trying to get some last-second kills as Saya's gonna go down. Venusaur running to spawn.
Running all the way to the spawn room for safety, but there's no safety truly there. They are able to get CTW once again, so this shouldn't be a full cap in theory, but I mean, Workers Union, they do have to actively stabilize.
Rush coming out on the board from Milk. Suadir has the opportunity to use the Death Blossom if they want to, but the cage fight comes out first, and that's going to be all they need as well with that Kitsune Rush, but again, you didn't use anything, and Enenra building up to 5.
Enenra building up to 5. Again, it's going to be another fight here in the center because Enenra has all these forward spawns. I mean, Workers Union, they're just so far behind, and realistically, they would have to find a way to salvage this fight, winning it out with Enenra, over-investing ultimates for them to really have a good crack at it.
So now we'll have to see CTW going to be pulling up the orbital array, but the ray online already from Saya. They've got to find it here and now. There's the ray in response from CTW as Red Chimp's going to get taken down. Death Blossom coming out, but not finding anyone with it. Krusty going through with the blade to finish things off. Everything, well, actually not everything. Only 3 ultimates being invested there from Enenra. Still have 2 more to go. 3 minutes and 35 seconds on the board. You don't really even need to try anything as Workers Union are making some swaps.
Yeah, I mean, making so such is over to a Junker Queen kind of style now, off the Reaper over to Tracer. I mean, this makes you a little bit more nimble. Sure, it's going to help you apply pressure to that backline, but you still have to get through Red Chimp as well as Zombie, who's just been firing off rail after rail while you try to close this distance. It's not going to be easy.
And now they come in here. There's the Amp Matrix coming in. Holly1 dashing through with the perfect opportunity, finding 2. Krusty is going to take them out in response, in revenge for their fallen brethren. But is that going to be enough to change the tide of this fight? Krusty finding another one, but there's just so many people gone. Venusaur, though, very low, and Red Chimp's going to be able to take them down. Suadir finding that pick onto Krusty, though. It is just Red Chimp left on the point, and Red Chimp going down. Immortality Field being invested there, trying to save Red Chimp, but that's not going to help.
And again, I mean, this is all about Workers Union still having to reset the forward spawns of Enenra here. They are going to send their Tracer in to do just that, but now it's, again, having to take this fight directly at the hilltop, directly in the neutral still, and they have to win it out, otherwise it's just going to continue to reactivate.
There goes Zombie out, finding Suadir already, and Venusaur might just be quickly afterwards. Holly1 going down as well. You don't have a front line any longer, and the back line just trying to stall for time. Minute 45 on the board. Forward spawns being reactivated yet again for Enenra.
I feel like this workers union, I don't know what changed between maps 3 and 4, but like the fight has just gone out of them. And Enenra pushing towards potentially a full cap here. They have the cage fight as well as a blade and an overclock to do it. I mean, realistically, the ball is just completely in their court on how much they truly want to invest or if they just want to play time.
There's the cage fight coming in. Kitsune Rush out as well. Everything's being invested from Workers Union, but they've already lost their supports. They're going to invest the Rampage as well. You kind of have to try anything to hold on to this, but it does not seem to happen. And there it goes. And like a house of cards, Workers Union falling down, down, down. And Enenra take the map and the series 3-1.
I mean, yeah, what was a close series ultimately when it comes to push just simply was not the case here. This was the Enenra we expected coming into this playoffs. Absolute dominant performance on push to get them over the line here. It'll keep them moving while Workers Union on the other side of things have now a lower bracket run to worry about.
Yeah, definitely, and we'll see here, right? I mean, obviously, Workers Union looked strong, but in the end, Enenra showed why they were that number 1 seed. And finally, after kind of just playing with their food, maybe throughout that entire series, but we're gonna have to see going forward. As I mean, hey, still the right team won, right? The number 1 seed won over the number 8 seed. And we'll see how it goes forward to them. We'll see if playing against the winner of and Squirt Squad is a different look for them going forward. But for right now, they live to fight another day in the winners round. And like you said, Workers Union have to figure out a lower bracket run.
Yeah, they absolutely have to, but that'll be a tale for another day. As Enenra, they have to be celebrated for being able to come away with this win. And if you will give us just a quick moment of your time to set up that interview behind the scenes as we take a quick little break, we will have that perspective of somebody from Enenra proudly talking about their win. That's the part where you cut us out, Hippie. There you go.
You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
well, we were supposed to have an interview, but I don't know if Red Chimp's whatever broke or something.
I think we were just getting egoed, honestly. I think
yeah, we might have just gotten ego. To be fair, they kind of deserve it. Red Chimp played very well. I want to wrap this up so we can raid over onto our CGL _2 stream because we can pull that up here. Taking a look at the schedule, right? As they have a match going on right now. On that, and Vicious Outlaws, who were one of the teams being picked from, Potato Pillagers were the 5 seed, I believe. So are currently losing in that series right now. So we'll have to finish this up quickly so we can go take a peek at that as well. But do you have anything to say here, Megalas, before we end said stream off?
no, just of course, obviously, shout out to our production behind the scenes. They're all amazing. I think we had Hippie and Mara. They're helping out, making it all look fancy and pretty for us behind the scenes. And make sure you show that love to CGL too, because guess what? More CGL action is better for everybody.
It definitely is. So that's going to be it from me, Joker, and Megalas, and obviously, like she said, the production staff as well, Hippie and Mara. Stick around. We're going to raid or try to raid. I don't know if we can raid without Headrammer, but we'll get there in the end. So if we don't, just go to CGL _2. Thank you all for watching. And wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.